Hello students. Now today we are going to do interdependence of the organism. How the organism are dependent on each other. Not only the organism on each other, but even the substance, whatever is non-living. We are also dependent on the non-living. So here we'll study the interdependence in the living being and how we are dependent on the non-living things also. So let us start in a way where you will understand very easily. Now all of you know that plants, they carry out photosynthesis with the help of sunlight. During photosynthesis, they prepare their own food, which we also eat, and in the process release oxygen. And that oxygen we take for during respiration. Respiration is a process by which we take food and oxygen and release energy. So we carry out respiration and we release energy. Not only we, all the living organism. Plant, they carry out photosynthesis, but they carry out respiration also. So at night nobody sleeps under a tree. Why? Because they release carbon dioxide, more of carbon dioxide. During the day very little respiration is carried out, more of photosynthesis, oxygen is released. But during night only carbon dioxide. As we release carbon dioxide, they also release carbon dioxide during respiration. But so much of oxygen is produced during photosynthesis that it suffices for the plant respiration as well as our respiration. So we take in oxygen, we give out carbon dioxide. We take in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide. Plants during photosynthesis, they take this carbon dioxide, use it and release oxygen. So oxygen is released by the plant, which we use for respiration. Plants also carry out respiration, remember that. But basically plants are the producer. Only plants, they can produce their own food, not animals, only plants. So plants, they are known as producers. They produce the food which we eat. They utilize for their own purpose also, and they give us also food to eat. They give food to the animals also to eat. So they are primary producers. They just produce food which is utilized by all the organism. Now how do they produce food? It is with the help of soil. Soil, water, sunlight. Without sunlight, we cannot exist. We require sunlight for us. Plants require sunlight for photosynthesis. We require oxygen. We require water. So all this substance, they are necessary for us to exist. So this oxygen we take, carbon dioxide we give. The plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, but they have to have nutrition from the soil. From the soil they have to get the nutrition. They have to get the raw material for synthesizing the food. Here from sunlight they'll only get the energy. So they are the primary producers. They take in the nutrition from the soil, energy from the sunlight, and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and prepare their own food. So this is the cycle which goes on here. And then you have to know who eats this primary producers, who eats the plant. We eat the plant. So we are consumers. All the animals are consumers. All the animals. Some animals, they eat plant directly. They eat only plant. Like goat, cow, buffalo, they all eat only plant. So they are known as herbivores. They would not eat any other animal, they'll eat only plant. So they are herbivore. But some animal will eat those herbivores. some animals will eat those herbivores. They are known as carnivores. They are carnivore. Here you can see this picture of crocodile. Masahari it is. It will eat the mass of this herbivore. Herbivore are Shakahari. They'll eat only the leaves. Remember one example or many examples, but be clear in your understanding what is herbivore, carnivore. Then some animals, they eat both plant and animal. So they are known as omnivore. Omnivore. Here the example given in your textbook is of monkey. Omnivore means they'll eat both. Similarly in humans, some they eat only plant product. They eat only plant products, they'll be herbivore. If they eat only meat, they'll be carnivore. Both omnivore. So here both plant and animal both, they are known as omnivore. So this is the classification of the animal based on the food they eat. Herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. Scavengers. Scavengers are what? The animals which will eat all the dead animals. Dead animals, maybe plants also. Scavengers, they eat up and clean the environment. Here the examples here, vultures, they'll eat the dead animals. That is why they don't have any feathers on their neck, because dead animals blood and all will get stuck to their feathers. So they have evolved into not having feathers here on the neck. They'll eat the dead animals and keep the environment clean. Vultures, jackal, both scavengers feeding together. They are feeding on the dead animal. Now they will keep the environment clean. But what happens to plant and animal which are dead? Which are dead. They won't remain as dead as it is. Any plant, animal, even human will not remain as it is. What will happen? Microorganism, bacteria, fungi, they'll react on it. And what they'll do to the plant and animal? They will convert them into simpler form. Simpler form will get mingled with the soil, and those nutrients will be back into the soil. So the nutrient, like whatever the nutrient you'll study later on, will get mingled with the soil. Once it is mingled with the soil, plants will be able to take that nutrient and grow, prepare its own food, supply oxygen, take in carbon dioxide. So this cycle will go on. So all the living organisms, they are dependent on each other. So here they are producers, only plants are producers. Rest of the organisms, they are consumer. Herbivore feeding on plant, carnivore feeding on animals, omnivore feeding on plant, animal both, scavenger feeding on dead animal, and decomposer, they decompose the dead organism and mingle the nutrition with the soil. So this is the this type of organisms are present in nature. Now as we were talking about interdependence. Now interdependence of the organism is there throughout. This is only one aspect we have learned, but interdependence of organism is throughout. So let us see more of interdependence of the organism. Have you heard about earthworm? You must have studied this in lower class. Earthworm, they are known as the friend of farmers. Why they are known as friend of farmers? Because they will grow in the soil and they'll eat up the soil, excrete, their cast will have more nutritive value, and they'll make the soil porous so that it is easy for the farmers to sow the seed. So it is friend of the farmer, and we are dependent on this because it makes our agriculture easier, more food can be grown. So that is how it affects the farmer. If it helps the farmer, it helps us because we are dependent on the farmer. They grow food, we eat. So if they are able to grow food easily, we'll get food easily. So Earthworm, they are known as friend of farmers. They are living beings. They are living beings which help us. So we are dependent directly or indirectly on the earthworm. Now, all the seeds and fruits are formed due to pollination. Pollination is a process of transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the flower, and then the seed will be formed, fruit will be formed, will eat the fruit, throw the seed will grow into a new plant. But who does the process of pollination? Who helps in pollination? Insects. So here you can see the photograph of a honeybee which is covered with the pollen grains. It is trying to suck the nectar from the flower, and all the pollen grains are stuck. They'll go to another plant to suck more nectar. There they'll transfer the pollen grains to the stigma of the flower. So this is directly or indirectly, we are also dependent on the honeybee. Here is the process of pollination which is taking place, transfer of the pollen grains from one plant to another. Now, various other animals also transfer the seed. Now, some seed is stuck to the head of the horse with seed stuck to the mane of its head, that is the hair of his head are stuck with the seed. So it will transfer the seed to some other place, and there the seed will fall, it will grow into a new plant, probably if it gets moisture, right amount of moisture, soil, sunlight and all those things. Main is hair, it is stuck to the hair of the on its head, seeds are stuck. We also eat the fruit, throw the seed, and a new plant will be able to grow from the seed that we have thrown. So we are also doing some work of transferring the seed of the plant. Now here we are talking about interdependence of the living beings in the environment. We are studying the environment totally. We are not different from the environment. We are there in the environment. Supposing something happens in some other part of the world also, it affects us. That is what you have to understand at the young age. Some people do not understand the interdependence of organism on each other. They think they can produce the waste, whatever waste they want, or they can live as they want. But everything in the world is connected. We have to protect the environment. Living things depend on each other for different purposes. So this is the different purposes we have learned. Now in the water is the environment where we are connected to. What happens in the water affects us. Supposing there is an oil spill in the water, the fishes will be affected. When we eat those fish, that poisonous oil will go in our system. So what is their main food in the water? That is algae. Algae are the green substance, small green plants which produce food in the same way as the big plant. They take in the sunlight, they take in the nutrition from the water, and with the sunlight carbon dioxide dissolve in water, and they carbon dioxide they take and prepare food same way as any big plant. So algae are the small plants which are present in the water. So this is the short story of the environment we are living in, and we study further how a network is formed. Now this is the food chain. Here the grass which is the primary producer. All the green plants are the producers. So here it is a producer. This grass is eaten by the rabbit. Rabbit is eaten by the tiger. So this is the food chain. This is one of the food chain. One or plants eaten by one animal eaten by another animal. This is producer. This is herbivore because it is feeding on the grass. and this is carnivore because it is feeding on an animal. So this is a simple food chain. This is another food chain. The grains are eaten by the rat. These are produced by the plant. So this is produced by the plant, and plants will be primary producer. The produce of the plant is eaten by the rats. Rats are eaten by the fox. Fox eaten by the eagle. So here producer, this is herbivore, carnivore, super carnivore. This is a simple food chain. Simple food chain. But in nature, one animal will be the grass or the plant will be eaten by many animals. Many animals will eat. Number of animals will be herbivores, and those herbivores will be eaten by number of animals. So here a food web is formed. It's not simple food chain. You can say that many food chains, they get entangled into forming a food web. So here this is the food web. This is a food web. Now in food web, this is the plant. It can be any plant, grass plant, big plant, small plant. It's a plant which is eaten by smaller animals. Maybe by number of animals, but here it is given to for your understanding. Grasshopper, squirrel will be eating this plant. Now this grasshopper will be eaten by a bird. Some other grasshopper will be eaten by the snake also. So bird, snake will eat this grasshopper. Squirrel will be eaten by the snake. So you can see the snake can eat grasshopper also, squirrel also. Snake can eat grasshopper, bird can also eat grasshopper. Then this bird and snake both can be eaten by the eagle. So eagle, she gets a bird. If it gets a bird, it will eat a bird. It gets snake, it will eat snake. So here they are entangled with each other. One animal will eat many animals, and many animals will eat plant. So this is a food web which is formed here. So this is the example of food web. Now there is a natural balance in the environment. Plants, they produce oxygen. We take in oxygen. They also take in oxygen. The plants prepare food which we eat, and the plants will be eaten by some animal. So there is a natural balance. Now sometimes the imbalance can happen. It might be sometimes natural disaster, but most of the time now we humans create that disaster. So let us study how we create the imbalance in nature which comes back to us because we are part of that environment. So let's see hunting. Now rich, powerful people will be very happy to hunt the animal and put the skin in their living room to display and show people that they have been hunting and killing animals. So what happens? They will be hunting big animals, lion, tiger, cheetah, Asiatic cheetah. Some animals would not be many in number. Few in number, they are hunted, they are gone from the environment, and we cannot bring those animals back. So this Asiatic cheetah was there in India, but now we don't have. Few are there in Iran. If they don't protect it, it will disappear from the world. So bigger animals, they will become less and less number. What happens when these animals like cheetah, lion, tiger, they become less and less in number? Suppose there is an area which is green in color. There is always a balance. Lion, tiger will eat deer and more herbivorous animal, and they will herbivorous will eat the grass. But if the animals, lion, tiger disappear, deers will increase in number. Then they will eat up all the grass. No grass, and the environment will be imbalanced because there's no. Then there won't be lion also. There won't be deer also because grass will get over. No grass also. No deer also. Everything will get over. That's an imbalance. Everything has to be balanced. So this is how we are destructing the environment. Let us take one thing at a time. we carry out deforestation. We cut the trees for construction, constructing factories or various construction we can do for our benefit. So what happens when we have cleared the land? The land is gone forever. Trees are cut, and sometimes the trees are cut. So for the good purpose, land is left like this. Soil erosion takes place because trees are holding the soil. Soil erosion will take place. Here, deforestation has taken place. There is dip in the amount of oxygen. Carbon dioxide will increase because animals are there, plants are not there. Then sometimes people, if they want the land, they'll burn. They'll burn forest land that has been cleared by burning. Sometimes natural fire takes place due to the striking of the lightning, or some reason natural fire can take place, but people, they burn the land for themselves, for their utilization. Now again, burn, they will create smoke, they will create carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, which is harmful for us. So it is harmful. Burning anyhow is harmful. So clearing of land, deforestation leads to soil erosion. There is disturbance in the water cycle also. Now, pollution can be caused by the forest fires. Then we start any factory that will create smoke, that will create dirt, and all the pollutants will be thrown into the water. All the leftover will be thrown into the water. So that is how we throw into the water the colored substances, whatever waste produced from the factory. Water will also get polluted. Fishes in them will die. Algae will die. So the cycle, natural cycle in the water is also disturbed. This is water pollution. This is how we are destroying. We are destroying the environment for our purpose and making the environment dirty. So it is high time that we preserve the environment. Yeah, natural disasters can be in the form of storms, flood, droughts, earthquake, volcanic eruptions. This can cause this natural disasters. If there is an earthquake, then everything, earth plate itself gets displaced. Volcanic eruption, lava might come out and destroy the plants and animals around. Droughts, there is no rain, plants and animals will die. Floods, if it's heavy flood, it will destroy all the plants and animals. Storm can destroy the trees. So these are natural disasters which we can't help it, but we can help our behavior, and we can help this environment to be preserved if we take steps in the right manner. The government takes steps in the right manner. So let us just revise this interdependence of the living beings, plants and animals, interdependence in nature. Living things depend upon the non-living things, living things depend upon each other. Living, non-living, they depend upon each other. Producers, consumer, decomposer. Producers produce, consumers consume, decompose. They destroy the dead plants and animal by reacting on it. Bacteria does that work of decomposing. Bacteria and fungi. Food chains and food webs are formed here. You can see food chain, food webs. Balance in nature is, we have to create balance, and we have already created the imbalance. Causes of imbalance here is hunting of animals. Asiatic, example is Asiatic cheetah. Clearing of land, that is cleared by fire or deforestation. Pollution, that is heavy factories will produce the pollution, smoke, and they make the and spoil the environment. Forest fires are cleared by burning, which has harmful effect, and natural disasters can also have harmful effect. So let us protect the environment by taking the steps in the right manner. So please like, share and subscribe. And you have any comment, please write it in the Facebook, on the Facebook. Bye bye. See you.